What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome to my very first official FIFA 17 video. The web app has finally been released, but I'm not here to talk about the web app today. Today we're going to be talking about how chemistry works in FIFA 17, of course with Chemgate at the back end of FIFA 16. People demanded answers, they wanted response from EA as to how chemistry works and what impact it has, and EA, as promised, have delivered the information to that effect. So, how chemistry works in FIFA 17, it's going to be very complex. Like, I've already read through this a couple of times just to get my head around it. It's going to be relatively complicated, but I'm going to try and explain it in the absolute simplest of details for you guys. Before we get into that, if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, it would be much appreciated. And if you want to see more FIFA 17 content, web app stuff, early access, then of course subscribe to the channel for more. It says, hey FIFA fans, before we kick off of FIFA 17, we wanted to give you a closer look into the numbers behind chemistry in FIFA 17 Ultimate Team. The first point to keep in mind is that the effects of chemistry are applied to players at the start of the game. These effects are governed by a combination of team, chem and individual player chemistry. A player in the starting 11 gains 25% from team chemistry and 75% from an individual player chemistry. A player who comes on as a substitute gains 25% from team chemistry, so the same as a starting 11, and 75% from a static individual player chemistry of 5, which basically means any player that you sub on will get 75% of 5, which is like what, 3.75, and 25% from your overall team chemistry, which we'll get into in a little bit more detail very, very shortly. This means that while substitutes benefit from being in a team with high chemistry, they won't receive the effects of individual player chemistry. The following formula shows how the effects of chemistry on player attributes are calculated. Team chem times 0.25 plus player chem times 10 times 0.75, which I'll explain in a bit more detail in a second. If the resulting number is greater than 50, assuming, so we're talking about 50 points, which is in-game points. We don't care about what it says not in-game or anything. We're talking about in-game 50 points. Players' attributes start to improve towards their maximum of 99. If the resulting number is 50, the number is neutral and the player receives no changes from their base attributes. If the resulting number is 49 or lower, the player's attributes are reduced towards their minimum of 1. So stats can go as low as 1 or towards the absolute minimum. What EA is saying here is there are no stats higher than 99. They are saying there are no stats lower than 1, which basically means for someone like Aubameyang, who will undoubtedly have a 99 pace card eventually, giving him chem increase on that stat is largely irrelevant because it won't actually have any effect on him. A player in the starting 11 with 100 team chemistry and 10 player chemistry. This is the math behind it. So this is, imagine you've got a full Dortmund team, and we'll take Aubameyang again as our example. He's in there at striker on 10 chemistry, and the whole team is a Dortmund team, so the team itself has 100 chemistry. Team chemistry times 0.25, which is 100 times 0.25, which is 2.5 basically, or 25 is the way they're going to look at it, plus player chemistry times 10 times 0.75, which is of course 7.5 in the initial math, then they times in that by 10 as well to 75, and that's how you get your in-game chemistry. So I don't know why they've done the math like this. It's kind of backwards. They could have just done team chemistry times 2.5 rather than 0.25, because then they've done the extra math of 100 times 0.25, which is still, 25 basically, and team chemistry times 0.2 or 2.5 would also be that same 25 chemistry. So basically what you're going to get is specifically 25% of the team chemistry number and specifically 75% of the players' total number. So with Aubameyang, as I say, his player chemistry would be 10, which actually would accumulate to 100, and you'll get 75% of that. So if, for example, you had a player on player chemistry of 8, that would actually be equivalent of 80 in-game chemistry points. You would get points, 75% of that 80, which would be what, 60 instead of 75 that you get from 100. So if you had a 100 team chem on an 8 chem player, you would get 60 chemistry from the individual chemistry, 25 from the non-individual, which would be 85 total in-game chemistry, which is a bonus from the 50 that we're looking to get. So basically, a player will play to card stats, to exactly as card stats on 50 in-game chemistry points. There is a table coming up as well to have a look at it as well, a bit more detail. A substitute with 100 team chemistry, team chemistry times 0.25 plus player chemistry times 10 times 0.75, so it's 100 times 0.25 plus 5 times 10 times 0.75 is 25 and 37.5 is 62.5. So a substitute on 100 team chem will get 62.5 in-game chemistry points, which will be a positive increment of stats in-game. Basically, they will get bonus stats in-game, but not by much, which kind of suggests the fact that super subs in FIFA going forwards aren't actually going to be very effective, especially if you have low chemistry as your team chemistry. Player chemistry here doesn't matter, but let's say again, for example, you have 80 team chemistry instead of 100, you only get 60 team chemistry points off of that, and then you only get 25. The team chemistry is 0.25. What did it say here? Points. The player chemistry is 37.5. The team chemistry is 25, which is obviously the maximum that you can get for team chemistry. So yeah, if you had 80 instead of 100, that would only be 20 team chemistry and 37.5 player chemistry, which would be 57.5. You're only slightly better off, you know, like there's not too much difference there. So chemistry styles. The following table outlines the attribute value with a player with 100 chem chemistry will receive, broken down by chem style. We're actually going to take a look at that in a second because it's a lot of information, and I know this is very confusing for you guys, but I'm going to go on to Foothead and try my best to explain it with examples, because I think that would probably be a little bit better. In some rare instances, there will be a minor variation of the exact attribute value received by a player due to the effects of how each platform's processor handles floating points operations prior to the application of chemistry. A player with 10 player chemistry and 100 team chemistry on Xbox One or PS4, with the sniping chemistry style, the player's shooting attributes will gain 10 points to positioning, 15 points to finishing, 10 points to volleys, and 15 points to penalties. Not every attribute receives a boost, however. For example, shot power and long shot remain the same. And on that note, I want to go on to Foothead real quick, and I want to take a look at the at any player to take a look at in-game stats, because they are quite important. Okay, so we don't actually have the breakdown of what each stat is built by, which is a little bit disappointing because it's quite important for how this chemistry stuff works. But you can see it says team management in-game. Once in-game, team management has no effect on chemistry. This includes but is not limited to formation and position change. So if you've got a 4-4-2 going in and then you switch up to a 5-3-2, there are no chemistry effects. Doesn't help it positively or negatively. The same as if you've got Zlatan at striker when you kick off and then you sub him to centre-back, he doesn't all of a sudden lose chemistry. That is all. So stamina. Physical attributes are affected by players' stamina during the match. The attributes affected are as follows. So physical attributes are affected by stamina, but seemingly nothing else. Acceleration, agility, jumping, strength, reactions, and marking. And this is quite important as to why there might seem to be a lot of 45th and 90th minute goals, because if your players are slow towards the back end of the halves, specifically towards the 90th minute, and they lose, they get a negative attribute condition to marking and to reactions and to strength, it could genuinely have an impact on how and why you concede. The information in this post will be kept up to date should any adjustments be made ahead of or during FUT 17. As always, we welcome your feedback and look forward to many unique squads you'll create this year. And it does open up squad creation quite a bit. And what we have here is a graph. So these are based on 10 chem in 100 team chemistry. So if you have a basic chem style, your player will get 5 acceleration extra, but no sprint speed. So if you have Cristiano Ronaldo, 92 pace, I don't know what makes up pace. I would assume based on last year. Let's go and look at Ronaldo of last year. So pace is made up by just acceleration and sprint speed, right? It might be the same this year, it might not be, but we'll take last year as a base kind of value to look at because we don't know just yet. So if Ronaldo last year would get, with basic chem style, 5 pace but no sprint speed, 5 acceleration but no sprint speed, which would put him to 99 acceleration and 99 sprint speed on base chem style. He would get 5 positioning, 5 finishing, and 5 volleys, but nothing else. So his positioning, his finishing, and his volleys would be increased, but his shot power, his long shots, and his penalties, which I understand penalties aren't in shooting anymore, would not be affected. So then there are lots of stats by looks of things that aren't affected by chemistry at all, which goes to show again why low chem teams might still be effective, because if it only affects acceleration and not sprint speed and is only detrimental to a minimum or a maximum, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because what this is saying is that at 50, like 50 in-game chemistry points, with a basic chem style, you will gain no added acceleration and you will lose no acceleration. So your player will be identical to what their card says. It's saying on 100, you will gain 5, which is basically 60 would be a gain of 1, 70 would be a gain of 2, 80 would be a gain of 3, 90 would be a gain of 4, and that 100 chemistry in-game points would be a gain of 5, which would then indicate that it would be the same scale reversed. So it would indicate that 40 would be a negative of 1 acceleration. So if you had Cristiano Ronaldo on 4 in-game chem and 80 base chem, I believe, that would give him 40 in-game chemistry points. He would go down from 99 sprint speed to 99 sprint speed, because that is not affected, and then 97 acceleration to 96 acceleration, which is still ridiculously good. In terms of shooting, it only affects positioning, finishing. In fact, we've got all the stats here. Positioning, finishing, shot power, long shots, volleys, and penalties. It's exactly the same. So your basic chem style will give you 5 on positioning, 5 on finishing, and 5 on volleys. With a basic chem style of a 10-10 player, it would give you 5 vision, 5 long passing, 5 short passing. It doesn't affect free kicks, crossing, or curve, which is very interesting. For dribbling, it doesn't affect anything other than ball control and specifically dribbling. And then for defending, it doesn't affect anything other than marking and standing tackle. And for physical, the basic chem style at least doesn't affect anything other than jumping and strength. So your basic chem style is actually going to be very valuable for players when they're off chem, because off chem basics looks like you won't be affected. You'll be affected by looks of things to a maximum of 5 chemistry points, positive or negative. And that would then go to say that somebody on 0 chemistry with 0 team chemistry will have a maximum of 5 acceleration taken off, 5 positioning, 5 finishing taken off, 5 volleys taken off, 5 vision taken off, which for someone as a standard goal player, like a 78 or an 80 rated midfielder or something like that, you would notice it. But for like a high rated player like a Marco Reus or Lewandowski or a Ronaldo or a Bale, you're not going to notice that at all. However, when looking at the other chem styles like Sniper, for example, so Sniper doesn't affect pace at all. It doesn't affect passing at all. It doesn't affect anything other than, I believe, shooting and dribbling. And that seems to be correct. Physical is not affected, as you can see. Defending is not affected. It is only dribbling and shooting that is affected by the Sniper chem style. So this is something that's important, like looking at building squads, and I'll explain why in a second, right? So what it does is it gives you a plus 10 for positioning, a plus 15 for finishing, which is huge, plus 10 penalties, plus 10 agility, plus 10 balance, and plus 10 dribbling, which then again would also indicate that by the logic and how math works, that it would be a minus 15 maximum shot power as well, and that would be in increments of 3 individual shot power per 10 in-game chemistry points, right? That's logic. You can't really deny that. Although EA haven't said that, you can't deny that. Now, if we go to FIFA 17 and create a squad, let's put a squad builder together. Let's get our 4-3-3. If we put in, let's say, Rio Ferdinand here. No, let's not. Let's take Pepe, because Pepe makes more sense, because we're going to be doing something like, so Pepe, Koscielny, Toure in here. We're going to have Xhaka in here because Xhaka is just amazing. No, have I spelled Xhaka wrong? Let's go for Ramsey because I can't spell. Wait, why is Ramsey not there? Who else have we? What midfielders we got? Let's go Gundogan instead. Gundogan, and then the other centre back here will be a BPL Company. We'll go for Vincent Company in there, and then we'll go for Joe Hart in goal. Even though he's going to be at Torino, it's just banter. So when we take a look at Pepe, what we'll do, in fact, is we'll build a full BPL team. Let's put a full BPL team in around Pepe here. Who have we got? We've got Martial up on the left-hand side. We'll put Hazard up on left wing. We'll put Rooney up front. We'll throw in Walcott on... Wait, Walcott's a left mid anyway, isn't he? We'll throw in Oxlade-Chamberlain. Is he in the game yet? Okay, so they don't have him. Navas is in the game. I'm pretty sure I saw Jesus Navas before. Jesus Navas. And we'll throw in KDB as well, because he should give us enough chemistry. So he puts us up to 89 chemistry, so I do need a right mid. I can't even think of a right mid in the BPL right now. What is going on? It's going to be Juan... Is Juan Mata a right mid, or has he been moved over to the centre as well? Right, Juan Mata apparently isn't in the game. Let's come out of that. I should probably just have cut this out, but I guess we're too late right now. Right, players, FIFA 17 players. League, Barclays Premier League. I know you guys are like screaming at the screen like this guy. All right, Mahrez. There we go. Mahrez is a good shout. Actually, I need someone that's going to get a good link with. So Sané. Sané is perfect. Sané fits us to the ground. So Sané gives us 94 chemistry. Let's do that. That puts us down to 89. Puts us up to 95. Let's get Bravo in goal, because he should give us, right, 98 chemistry. For the sake of argument, let's assume that we've got the manager and this says 100 chemistry, right? So Pepe, with 100 team chemistry and 6 individual chemistry, will get the following, right? He will get 25 points from the chemistry, the team chemistry, and he will get 75% of 6, which is like, what, 4.5, times 10 is 45. So he will get 45 individual chemistry points and 25 team chemistry points, which is 60, 70 basically. He'll get 70 in-game chemistry points, which will be a positive effect on his stats, right? Can't deny that. It will be a positive effect on his stats. So when we look at the chart, if he's basic and he's got 70 in-game chemistry points instead of 50, he's going to get a small boost to acceleration, a small boost to positioning, a small boost to finishing, to the point of 2 stats. So he'll get 2 acceleration. If it works in increments like 10 is 1 of everything, 20 is 2 of everything, 30 is 3 of everything, he gets 20 bonus points, so he gets 1 of everything. But the way the chem might work is it might be, instead of 1 of everything, it might go acceleration first, and then positioning, and then finishing. So in that instance, it might, instead of being 1 of everything, it might be all 5 acceleration. Have we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35... 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 stats altogether. So you're getting, how many stats are you getting per turn? You're getting 13 stats per 10 points, which would be 5 acceleration, 5 positioning, and 3 finishing. It could be like that. It potentially could be like that. I would assume that it works on a blanket scale of 1 per stat, then 2, a second stat. And the same with Sniper. Instead of being 10 here and 15 here, the way it would work is it would be 2 positioning and 3 finishing per 10 in-game chemistry points. I hope you're still with me on this, because I know it sounds confusing. When we look at Pepe in this sense and he gets 70, he still gets a boost. But when you look at Chem styles, you can really manipulate how his stats are or aren't changed in like weird teams. If we then had a team where instead of having lots of team chemistry, we had little amount of team chemistry. Let's say you've got a draft and you've got 33 chemistry. Now he's only getting 25% of 33, which is, what is that? It's like 9 or something, right? 9, 18, 27, 36. It's like 8, 16, 20. Yes, it's like 8 point something, 8.5 or something like that, 8.25. But let's, for argument's sake, let's say 8. He's going to get 8 team chemistry points towards his total chemistry. And then of his base stats of 6, just because he's in the right position, he's still going to get the, what do we work it out to be? 45? Yeah, so 45 here, 8 off of here, which is going to be 53. So even Pepe on 6 chem in a 33 chem team is still going to get a bonus to his card stats, which is ridiculous. If we put Rooney in, though, he's going to get 3 team chemistry, 3 individual chemistry, on 27 team chemistry. He's going to get 6, 12, 18, 24, 6.6 basically team chemistry points. Let's round it up to 7 for the sake of argument. So he'll get 7 from there, and he'll only get what are we looking at here? So you're looking at, I don't even know. I can't even think what you're going to be getting from Rooney. So basically 0.75% of 3, which is 7, 14, 21, 2.25. So he's going to get 22.5 points from his individual chemistry and 7 points from his main, his team chemistry, which is going to be around 30 chemistry points, which will be a detriment to stats. Now, if you're playing him in this position, what you can do is just apply a chemistry style that only impacts the stats that he doesn't care about. So as a centre-back, obviously you want to keep his defending and his physical pretty high, you want to keep his pace pretty high, but his shooting and his passing you don't care about. So you can go and get yourself the shooting and the passing one, which is going to be, I can't remember exactly what is it Catalyst? No, they're all pace. Artist, is it artist? Passing and dribbling? No. What have we got for passing and shooting? Whatever the shooting and passing is. The Deadeye, there you go. Deadeye is shooting and passing. So he will get detrimental values in positioning, which could be quite important, but the fact that it's in shooting would argue against that. Finishing, long shots, volleys, penalties, not even penalties, vision, free kick accuracy, short passing and curve. Everything else would be untouched. And I'm probably going to have to do a follow-up video on this because I know this is, I mean, it's getting long. We're already 20 minutes in and it's getting confusing. But the bottom line is that even a mid-team chem, low chem team will still probably get positive attributes to the cards, and you can manipulate the way those attributes are dispersed by chem styles. So again, if you're playing, let's say you're playing Pepe, it's hard to, because he's going to get 6 chem. He probably won't get 6 chem there though, will he? Because you actually do get a deficit of chemistry for having 5 dead links. If he was here, he would get less than 6 chem. I think he would get 4 chem. In which case he would get 30 personal chemistry points in a 100 chem team and 25 team chem points. He'd still get 55. He'd still get a bonus. It's going to be really difficult to screw up chemistry this year, basically. You're going to be able to play with teams with broken links all over the place and still get chemistry boosts based on this. And then even if you have like the right chem style, it's gonna be great, right? It says here though, one thing that we do need to take into consideration: 0 chemistry, minus 25 on everything. So you're gonna be heavily punished for 0 chemistry. But what is 0 chemistry? Is literally 0 in-game points. So 0 team chem and 0 individual player chem is 0. And that's going to give you minus 25. At that point, you're going to feel it, right? You're going to feel a huge difference. And even if you get 1 point, so just the manager bonus, that is enough to not be 0 chemistry and give you a maximum deficit of things that you see here. The 10, like, you know, for a centre-back on 1, if you've got a centre-back on 1 chemistry, let's, for argument's sake, let's use this Pepe, right? Let's say we get him in a team where he has got 1 chemistry at centre-back and there is no team chemistry. So he literally gets 1 chemistry. All at that point you have to do is apply the chem style that is apparent to shooting and passing, and his pace, defending and physical will not even be affected. Okay, he won't get an increase in stats, but he will not get a decrease in the important stats to him, which opens up massive opportunities for crazy squad building. And we can even see specifically how it affects each individual stat. So what I might do going forwards is I might build a few teams and get a graphic made up where I can show you the team, the overall chemistry, the in-game chemistry, and exactly how each stat is affected and where. If you guys want to see that, drop a thumbs up on the video. I'm going to leave it here because it's 23 minutes or 24 minutes of a lot of information. It's going to be very confusing for some people, and some guys will probably look at this and just be like, I don't care, like, you know, confused by it. But I will try my best to make some kind of rules of thumb and some key kind of ideas behind building teams and team chemistry and how and why it is and isn't effective. If you guys want to suggest to me teams that you've got like for day 1, or you've already opened your web app packs and this is the team you've got, I can show you, show you exactly how each individual stat will be changed within that player. No problem at all. So if you want to do that, link me teams on Twitter. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video for now. I'm probably going to come back with a different team chemistry video, like I say, with a bit more explained in it. But this, guys, is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.